In this demonstration, I'm going to review some of the functionality and some of the map navigation tools associated with the Yavapai County Interactive Map. You'll notice when you first load the map, you need to agree to the disclaimer before the full functionality is available to you. So just hit the agree, and you automatically default to the property search window. First thing we're going to look at, though, are the map navigation tools located in the upper left-hand part of the map display area. So they're common navigational tools, but just to review. So the full extent, again, will give you the full extent of the map. Pan tool allows you to pan to an area or region of the map. The zoom in, these are nice because you can actually draw an area of interest box. So sometimes you'll see AOI, and that means area of interest. And then, of course, the zoom out. Again, you can just draw a box and it'll zoom out. Again, if you want the full extent, just hit the full extent button. The zoom previous and the zoom next, basically that's your zoom history. So if I hit zoom previous, it's the most recent to the current extent. If I hit zoom next, it takes me back to where I was. So those are nice handy tools when you're just trying to go back and forth between a zoom. The print will open the print tab, so you can either click on it or you can click on the print button. It'll take you there, obviously. The draw measurement tools, again, will add a tab to the tabs in the right hand area. So if I click on the draw measurement, it opens up the draw measurement tools. And again, you'll see where if you draw, let's see, a polygon, you can actually draw that. And then double click to close. To clear that, all I would have to do is hit the erase, and that erase the graphics. The next tool, you can kind of see it, it's hard to see, it's the quarter section tool. Nice map tip tools help a lot. The quarter section tool is really similar to the identify tool. If I click on that and I just click on the map, notice the cursor changes to crosshairs. If I click on the map, it displays the township range grid, but also gives me the quarter section information, of course the rest of the township range information for that area that I just clicked on. So if I click again, it's going to give me the quarter section information. If I want to change or label the coordinates, I can actually decide the format. So notice I have the DMS format, and then of course Arizona State Plain. So if I go over to the show map coordinates, so notice I have the map grid, and notice I have the Arizona State Plain Central Coordinate System, and that is the only one available. It looks like you can add a coordinate system if you wished, so you have that option. And then you also have the GCS grid. So if I have the GCS grid, notice it's in DMS. Click close that. And then finally you have a help available to you, and then the typical identify tool. Again, if you want to, notice it says hold down the shift key to select multiple parcels if the parcels are displayed, or you can just do a single click and it gives you the information for that parcel. So we're going to return. I can get this to go away. There we go. So notice anytime you do a selection on the map, the display, that display is shown, or the results are shown underneath the result tab, and it should default to that as soon as you click somewhere. It should show you, it should automatically go to the results section. You can certainly have tools associated with the results. So this buffer tool will come in handy if you have a parcel that you want to buffer or a point that you would like to buffer. You can also look at parcel history. You can also look at a hyperlink associated with that parcel, and then you can view that parcel in Google. And again, you have the print view as well. So again, you have a zoom into that parcel, the selected parcel. So obviously nice tools to have available to you when you're using the map. So we're going to go ahead and look at the map layers available to you. We've looked at the draw measure tools. The map legend, right, gives you any of the, for the currently selected layers, obviously. So if you look at property features, notice you can turn all the layers on or off. You can adjust the transparency of some layers. Notice parcels, even though they're selected or checked for viewing, they're grayed out, which means they are not viewable at this scale. So what you would have to do in order to view parcels is grab your zoom in and zoom into an area. So the parcels are associated with a, they should show up in, there they are, show up in orange. Parcels are associated with with a map scale. So if you're zoomed out too far, so in other words at a smaller scale, they're not going to show up. You have to zoom in to see them, and when you see these orange lines, you know that you are seeing the parcels. So notice the parcel labels are still not being shown. You may have to zoom in a little bit more for the parcel labels to show up. It should be enabled there. Again, now you can see the parcel labels, so you can see it's quite a bit of information. So zooming in even more would probably be helpful. So if I want to, you know, I can actually select that parcel just by just because it's shown on the map. Well, not necessarily selected, but I can actually view the parcel number and perhaps even do a search on that parcel number. All right, so I'm going to zoom out. This might, sometimes when I hit the full extent, it's been taking a while, so I don't want to zoom to full extent until I'm further away. There we go. So I may have some specific layers that I want to show. So I'm going to go ahead and close the property features, and there may be transportation that I want to turn on. Major roads and major road labels are already there. If I zoom in, notice these are grayed out, so I would need to zoom in to see those. I would have to select these, check the county maintained roads and railroads in order to view those types of features. The land use. So again, notice there are some questions on this exercise for those of you who are taking this class associated with the management of an area. They are not turned on. The management organization or agency is not turned on by default. So under land use, it's Prescott Active Management Area. We have to turn that on in order to see it. So I may have to zoom in order for the Prescott area. So again, anytime something is not coming on, try zooming in. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. Now that since this is Prescott, I'm going to make the assumption that I have to be zoomed in around the city of Prescott. So let's see if it turns on now. So there it is. So if you're not sure if it's turned on or not, notice you can barely see the gray with this a gray diagonal line. If I go to Map Legend and scroll down, I should be able to see. So there's Township Range, and that should be. It's not showing the Prescott, so which is kind of unusual. It might have to be zoomed in again. So let me zoom in again to see if it'll show. There it is. So it just popped up. So again, a lot of these layers and information are associated with a particular scale. Typically, you have to zoom in. There are other, so I'm going to go ahead and collapse the map legend now that I know that these gray stripes are indeed the Prescott Active Management Area. If I turn this off, collapse land use. So if I go into land features, so notice I have game and fish, that's a management area. So notice the green boundaries pop up to make sure that that does indeed define a game and fish managed area. I can actually open the map legend and it should show up there, but it's not, so we're gonna zoom out on this one. So let's see if it shows up. Yeah, there it is at the top. So again, the zoom, the display of a feature may be associated with the zoom. You just have to sort of play around with it. I'm going to go ahead and turn off game and fish. And so now, oh, and also notice the points of interest. I just want to point that out to you. You would have to turn that on. And there are points of interest. You can zoom in on an area and actually use your identify tool and select a point of interest. I may have to zoom in even more. So let's zoom in. So again, I'm going to go ahead and I want to turn off the parcels. I don't need those. I don't have to, and all right. So I'm going to zoom out. Move it. There it is. So again, I'm going to go ahead and this doesn't just go away. That's kind of irritating. So get rid of that. There we go. I want that identify tool. I want those crosshairs, right? It was stuck on the magnifying glass, and then I couldn't get the get back to the identify, so I had to close this, and this doesn't just shut down immediately, so we have to. So just a little bit of a glitch, no big deal really. Go over here, grab that, and select that. Ah, there's the information about that. We knew by the icon that it was a golf facility, but we didn't know anything else. We didn't know the name of it, or even in this case the owner's address for that particular feature. So I'm going to go ahead and close out that. Again, notice those results are displayed in the Results tab, under the Results tab. So I'm going to go ahead to search, and I am going to look for a parcel number. So notice you can go, here's a property search by address. Well, I have a parcel number that I'm going to search for, and this is the format, book, map, parcel. So 403, so they're talking about a map book, and then the map itself, and then the parcel within that map. 07, and then 002C. So I've got my parcel number entered. It has to be in that format. Hit search, and it highlights in red. So notice I don't even have the parcels turned on, but it is displayed. So if I, it defaults to the results window. If I expand owner, I get the information on that parcel in terms of who owns it. Certainly look at the parcel information as well. So those are the basic tools. Now remember, in the results, we have a few other tools underneath the results window that we can use. So I'm just going to go ahead and buffer this parcel. So if I'm going to give it a parcel. It defaults to 30 feet. I'm going to go ahead and give it 100 feet. So again, notice it does, you're in feet, you're not in miles. I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. It buffers, and so the yellow is my buffer around that original. See, this is the original. And then notice it brings up any other parcels that intersect that buffer, and then gives information about those buffers in the results window. So a fairly robust interactive map for Yavapai County. This site has been around for a while. It's very well developed. Enjoy playing with it, and thank you.